Welcome back to Cards and Comics, guys. Today I have a huge Griffey collection update. I went to Strongsville. I mentioned this, a few of my videos, but how it relates to Griffey is this: is I did sell a lot of cards. I took some of that money and bought a huge Griffey card for me. In fact, as I'm writing today or making this video, the same card is in a eBay auction right now, so I'm very interested to see what that brings compared to what I paid. Why I come out a genius or an idiot, who knows? But I'm very excited to get this card. It's a beautiful card from a set. I actually didn't think I'd ever really get this card. It wasn't a refractor. If you're thinking about it's a refractor, no, it's not. So I've been so focused on refractors that a lot of these other sets have been I haven't paid as much attention to. So it was good to get a non-refractor big Griffey card this year, because I didn't think I was actually going to really pull one off like this. So, but first up, some just fun cards. This is from, I believe, New Pinnacle, 97 New Pinnacle, and it is the Interleague Encounter. There you go. There is Griffey on the front and then Tony going on the back. And I believe these are pretty tough. I believe these are like 1 and 2 or 3 boxes. So not a beautiful, if this card was shiny, it'd be a little bit cooler, but not like a card you look at and go, oh, it's a tough card. No, these were actually pretty tough to get. So Interleague Encounter Griffey. Next up, and also showcasing my new holders. Hopefully you like that video, because I'm starting to use them now to show off my collection. And this is one of my, not rare, I have quite a few non-Mariner Griffey cards in my collection, but this is from 2000. So generally, literally the year where he had both Mariner and red cards. This is from Upper Deck. And I believe this is just straight Upper Deck. I don't think this is one of their other sets, but I could be wrong. But it is a game used baseball right here, and just cool. Again, you can see my new holder, Mag Pro with the custom label, and it shows off the cards so nice. It just looks really cool. But game used baseball, 100% authentic. Here is the back. So used in an official Major League Baseball game. So doesn't say that Griffey played in, just that the ball was in a game. But there you go. That's a game ball card. Next up is I believe this is 96. Yep. 96 Collector's Choice Gold Signature. I've always loved these cards, even as a kid. It's a great photo of Griffey, and this is the base card, so there you go. That's the back. It's not the checklist. So, they started to get more rare as they went on. I think at some point they got numbered out of 100. Then you had the MVP set, which is the scripts and superscripts. So this set started out just as a parallel, and that was like 1 per box, something like that, or 2 per box, and then it evolved into a pretty hard to get insert set. But I love kind of the OG version right here, and it's a beautiful card. Just a parallel, but still really nice. Then next up is an EX2000 card, and yeah, this is one of those cards that really is kind of cool because it's a variant that not a lot of people really know of. So again, 1997 EX2000, and it is the All or Nothing Ken Griffey Jr., and it is the gold variation. So this set normally is sort of like bronze copper looking, and this is the gold version. And okay, you can see through it's part acetate, part foil. Very cool die cut. So this is a really cool looking card. I love this card, but the gold. So when I say like the gold card, right, what I mean here is the theory is that they ran out of foil during the making these cards, so they just used gold foil to finish it out. They, that whatever color they were using, the bronze kind of copper color just ran out, and they just went into whatever foil they had on hand, and they had gold, and they just went ahead and finished the print run. That's the theory. There is no real number of, is it half the run, a third of the run? I've heard it's like 1 in 10. So for every 10 cards, you'll see a gold. It's sort of what I've been told, but, we'll see. There's probably other Griffey guys out there who have been, cataloging this for 5 or 10 years and can tell me an exact number, but that's sort of what I've been told. Like 1 out of every 10 is the gold. Now, next up is a card I already own, a PSA 10 on, but one of the things I want to point out this card is it does have some variations. So this is the Soul of the Game, 1999 Skybox Premium. And just like the basketball cards, this foil pattern here can start at top with a different color combination. So this is the red to kind of, like a purplish to red. But it can start with blue. It can start with, green. So it can start with different colors. And then the pattern's order is the same. So I want to get the rainbow. I think there's 3 variations or 4. And again, this is very well documented in the basketball set. If you're a Jordan collector, you can get, the Soul of the Game in multiple foil patterns, and you can do the same thing for the Griffey. So here is the Griffey, starting with kind of purple on to kind of a reddish orange, in a 9. So it's a lot of fun. So I'm hoping to complete that rainbow at some point. Next up is a pretty tough insert set from 1999 Onyx. It's the Warp Zone King Griffey Jr. And love the Warp Zone. I believe in 2000 they also did the same insert set. So there's 2 Warp Zone Griffies. This is the 99, the OG. There's the back again. These are pretty rare. I want to say they were like 1 in 288. So they were not 1 per box. You had a open like 10 or I forget, was it, there are 24 packs, you'd have to own like 12, you have to open like 12 boxes, like a case, to get one of these. So pretty tough insert set, and they sell pretty good. So this is it's a very attractive card. So I've seen that card sell very well. Next up is a card I didn't really need, but I bought it anyway because it went so cheap. It's a 99 Finest split screens dual refractor, both Griffey and A-Rod. They're somewhat rare. I think the duals are like 1 in every other box, something like that. 1 in 48. So, or 1 in 74. But they're not, and they're hard to pull. And obviously, the Griffey and the A-Rod both is the more desirable of all 3 versions of this card. So there you go. I picked it up. And I thought I needed the split screen, but I needed the double feature. No, not the split screen. So there's 2 versions of this card. One was in Series 1 and one Series 2. Again, I talked about my Griffey video, or refractor video. But the double features I like better than the split screens. I thought I knew that card, and I actually already had it. Next up is a really cool card. Again, I am showcasing a few cards not in Mariner uniform, not normal for me, but I still collect Griffey cards who aren't that way. This is 2000 Bowman Chrome. This is kind of the retro refractor, where you got Griffey and kind of that 55 Bowman design. Just love that card. It's so cool. And again, they're designed to look like base cards. So it's card 122. So it's kind of like that. Looks kind of very retro-y, very cool. Very different. I love that card. Next up is the card I just told you about. The card I actually really needed. I didn't need the split screen. I needed this card. I needed the double feature. And there you go. I think the double feature just looks nicer. For whatever reason, it has, I think, a better refractor finish as well. So, and it looks great in the new holder. I'm still really impressed with the way these cards look in these holders. They're just really cool. And there you go. Double-sided. There you go. And then 1999 Finest double feature. My label. There you go. Oh, beautiful card. And not too expensive, honestly. Next up is a really tough. This card is really sneaky tough. And people love it. They hoard it. It's hard to pry these out of people's hands. but it's a 98 Finest Mystery Griffey refractor. So they pair Griffey up with different players, and I don't know the criteria for this set, like what they were trying to do, but in this set they pair Griffey up with himself on a card. Really odd. If you're going to do duels, you usually don't do the same player twice. But I forget there was some criteria for this, so I don't know how they did that, but there you go. And if this was like a 2000 card where it showed a red and a Mariner Griffey on one card, that would have been cool. But it's just Griffey twice. So double the Griffey, double the fun. And people love this card. Honestly, I've never been a big fan of the design. It's kind of grown on me a little bit over time, but this card in particular with the double Griffey is very popular with Griffey collectors, and they kind of hoard it. So second to last card here. The second to last card here is until I got the card in hand, I didn't really appreciate how beautiful it is. It's a very cheap for the look card, but I have noticed it's starting to bump up in price as people realize it in hand. It's just stunning. 97 Bowman's Best International Atomic Refractor with the U.S. flag design. And for those who love the refractors, this is the same pattern as 97 Finest Gold Embossed. So it strikes again that whole refractor pattern. There you go. But combine that with a flag, it's just an awesome looking card. And not dual-sided, so not that cool, but the front of this card is just beautiful. And I'm glad I added it to my collection finally, because it's not, I mean, it's somewhat expensive, but it's not super duper expensive. So it's in that mid-tier. But looks-wise, it's just stunning. So if that was Topps Chrome instead of Bowman's Best, it would be worth more, because people are kind of brand snobs, even in Griffey. So here's the big card, the one that I didn't think I would ever get. It's an Essential Credential from 1999. It's a Future Credential, numbered out of 104. So there you go. And one's up as I'm making this video, so I'll have another comp to compare it against at some point. But being able to just hit a buy now versus trying to win it in an auction, at least you know what you're going to pay. Versus in an auction, if you really want the card, you may have to pay more than you wanted to, versus just hitting a buy now. And I'm glad I did. Had money left over from Strongsville, and I took it and bought this card with it. And I'm kind of excited to get it, honestly. When it showed up in the door, I was super pumped. I love how these are stamped. I love how these cards on the back just look like no other card, with the acetate and the foil. And it pairs very nicely with my Barry Sanders, which I picked up last year at the National. So, of course, I need to get the Frank Thomas and maybe the Jeter, and I'll have the full triumvirate of hot players from the 90s to collect. But there you go. That's the Griffey, and it's obviously the best card in this whole this whole video. But I just want to show off that not every card in this that I was showing off is super duper expensive. That's the fun thing about Griffey cards, or just collecting in general, is to get a card you need, you don't always have to spend a ton of money. Now in this case, I did have the cash from making other deals, so it was great to spend it on a very cool card, and they're numbered out of 104. This card, just like the Fuller Brilliance Gold, if there wasn't one, which is the now version of this card, the silver version, which is numbered out of like 11 or 17, I think maybe 17, it's insane that card exists. So it takes a little bit of the thunder away from this card, because if this was the only essential or credential card made that year, then I think people would go to it more, but they know that there's a super duper rare one that very few people can get, but trumps this card in terms of rarity, just like the 24 karat gold cards, numbered out 24, trump the numbered 100 or 99, just regular gold, full of brilliance. So, but this card, to me has tremendous eye appeal. There's a big debate in the Griffey and just 90s community on what year of credentials looks the best between 97, 98, 99. I think 97, especially the Essential Credentials, the one with the star pattern, looks amazing. But that pattern is used on a lot of sets that weren't Credential. So you can get them. Like Score had some sets that they had that pattern. So it's a good looking card. And I think that pattern is awesome. Then you got the 98, which is the more plasticky looking cards that have the really bright color patterns. A lot of people say that is. I think Griffey's is pink. One of the variations is pink. The other one is yellow. But people love that set too. So that is sort of like the one most people have kind of drifted to from a value. So it's sort of like 98, 99, 97. Also 97, I think some are numbered higher. I think the Credentials were like a 299. So they're not quite as valuable as the Essential Credentials, which are numbered 99. But yeah, but again, you can't really go wrong with any Credential cards, honestly. They're all beautiful, in my opinion. Like if you have just one, I think it's awesome. I can't, I'm like one of those people, like, I can't imagine having all of them. But, I know people do. There are collectors out there with all of them. But to have one, I think it's really special for my collection to have a really cool non-refractor, to have one more diversification in my collection. I'd love to get established. I'd love to get some other really cool insert sets. I do have the Precious Metals from 97. So those are the kind of cards that I love to get just to have a little more diversification. So, but big, huge card is going to go right here next to the berry for future videos. So there it is, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what cards you loved, which cards you didn't see before, cards you didn't like, all that in my comment section. I love talking to you guys. I'll see you next time on Cards and Comics. Bye.